Hey, it's Faye, and it's been about 2 weeks since my last video, so I reckoned it was about time for an update. Firstly, it's been about 17 days since my last cigarette, so that's going well. But it's weird, because not smoking has kind of made me reflect on time as a concept and how we spend it. You see, before, when I used to smoke, I would smoke first thing in the morning and last thing at night. And in between, I would smoke every 2 to 3 hours, depending on what I was doing. But now that I don't smoke, the time
kind of passes slower.
So it might be 10 a.m. and I'm thinking, why is it only 10? How do I make the time go faster? Normally, I would just have a smoke break, and that would kind of mark each increment of time. But now without those markers, everything kind of blurs together and feels way slower. It's weird. Like, I need to stay busy, I need to do something, or else if I'm left to my own devices, I end up craving. And right now, it's not so bad. I mean, the 28-day mark is one that is like often heralded as like, if you can stay smoke-free for that amount of time, the rest should be a lot easier. This is yet to be seen. I mean, I have no idea. I think I've definitely quit for longer before, but, you know, ultimately I've gone back to smoking. You know, we'll see when we get to it. You know, 28 days, it's not too far into the future. Over halfway there, feeling pretty good. Don't really have like massive kind of like side effects or withdrawal symptoms. So that's going good. In terms of, do I feel any better? I wish I could say yes, I'm breathing way better. I'm not being out of breath anymore. I can smell things, like food tastes a lot better, drink a lot better. But unfortunately, I can't say that. And the main reason is hay fever. My hay fever is really bad at the moment, so I apologize if I sound congested, because when I get hay fever, it hits me really hard in the nose. Nose gets blocked and it's super runny and it's really annoying. And which is why I don't really know if I've kind of reaped the benefits of not smoking. At least not the really obvious ones that a lot of people talk about. So now that we've got that addiction out of the way, let's talk about this new potential addiction, running. So since my last video, I've changed my shoes, which, well, I kind of had to do, because have a look for yourself. Alright guys, I'm actually going on my first run with my new shoes, which are the Puma Velocity Nitro 2s. Funny story actually, I got my gait analysed at a store, and after trying on the different shoes and doing all the gait analysis and stuff, telling me what kind of feet I have, I asked the assistant, the shop assistant, for any more advice, and he told me he doesn't run. So that was great. Anyway, the shoes fit fine. Great recommendation. This is what I was working with before today. Old, like really old, look at the tread. Really old like Under Armour shoes, but look at that. Can you guys see? Look at that. Yeah. So hopefully I won't be in pain anymore. And I've actually rummaged through some of my old stuff, because I seem to remember I used to have an action camera, and lo and behold, I found my old GoPro Hero 3 Plus. I've taken it out with me on a couple of runs, and I've discovered two things. One, it's really hard to run while holding that camera like there to try and get the best angle. I don't have the selfie stick anymore, so yeah, I'm just holding it. Not the best runner anyway, so holding it there and losing the function of one of my arms to propel me forwards it's kind of tough. I'm getting used to it, but when I have to talk without it being scripted and when I'm running, I get a bit weird. He started asking me, like, what training program are you using? And I was like, what? I need a training program. Is this a thing? And he said, yeah, I'm using Hal Higdon. And I was like, okay, fuck. I need to check it out, see what this Hal Higdon guy is. It's not Pfizer, but something like that. No one lives here, I don't think. I am finding that holding this up in my hand, bareback style, it's a little awkward and tiring, but hey, does that work? That just makes me look like an idiot now. It's basically post or black metal. Come on. So in the last 2 weeks, I've run just over 30 miles, which probably sounds like a lot, but it isn't. I think in the grand scheme of things, for a kind of half marathon prep, it's not too much. But I've been kind of slowly working my way up. And I think the main issue I have at the moment is that I am not used to running an extended amount of time. Doesn't matter about the distance, I'm just not used to running half an hour, like in one go. So these last 30 miles have been kind of super slow, super easy, and just like slowly working my way up in terms of amount of time, but also making sure that my body gets enough rest, because the last thing I want to do is injure myself. And these old knees aren't what they used to be. I guess the main kind of semi-concern that I have is that I don't have access to other forms of low-impact cardio to do for cross-training. Like, I don't have a gym membership. I don't plan to have a gym membership. So I can't do things like the elliptical machine or rowing or cycling and stuff. I don't have a bicycle either, so definitely not cycling. I'm not too worried about it at the moment for this first one. I think it's all about just kind of running and getting the miles down and then making sure my body is in tip-top condition. But possibly going forward? Don't know. Not sure yet. So, has running pushed out the smoking addiction and become my new addiction? The answer's maybe, but probably not in the way that you think. The main reason is because of all the stuff outside of the act of running. I mean, all the running science, all the kind of like mechanics, the studies into how to optimize this and that, the content, the whole kind of running ecosystem, the documentaries on different marathons and ultra marathons, the content and vlogs that different runners put out, the training tips and the podcasts that interview people. It's that ecosystem that has really caught me and had me fully invest myself into it. Now, I would say that there are two main ways this has impacted me and why I would say it's an addiction. The first is financial. I love to watch those YouTube videos, and a lot of them are reviews on shoes or shirts, caps, watches maybe, anything and everything that a runner might need, probably don't need, but might want to have. And I'm watching them all. With that comes this sense of, I might need that. And that means my bank account has taken a hit, but I reason with myself. Oh, it's an investment, right? I'll buy it one time and I'll use it so many other times in the future. Like with this running thing, we're going to continue for a long time. And that may very well be the case. In fact, that is the plan. But I haven't even run my half marathon yet. I'm literally 1 month into the journey. I don't know how I'm going to feel after a very long run. In my opinion, a very long run. I could end up hating it. I could end up injuring myself and setting myself back. These are all possibilities, but the way I'm going right now, I feel like, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul. Mainly because of the second reason, which is emotional. I am emotionally invested in running, I guess. Just from all the content that I've consumed and kind of using that as a mirror to reflect back on myself. I find that a lot of people run not just because of the health benefits, but they often have their own personal battles and stories. And it's through running that they can express themselves. And that's kind of made me see the kind of like similarities with myself. Like for me, running was my attempt to finally quit smoking. But as I continue to run more, as I continue to learn more about running itself, I see it becoming a larger part of my life. Now, being the reason that I managed to quit smoking already makes it a massive part of my life. But there are things that I can foresee it being in the future. I think the perfect example is what's happening with my brother and I. We're very similar in this respect, where we can easily become kind of like really invested in particular things. And running seems to be that common thread at the moment. For those of you who didn't watch the last video, he was the one who asked me if I wanted to take part in this half marathon. So yeah, we're running it together. And despite us not even having run that half marathon yet, despite us being, 17, 18 weeks out from that half marathon, we've already planned kind of our next moves. We've already lined up what our first marathon will be. The answer is Tokyo Marathon, by the way. And for anyone who knows me, the answer should be very obvious. It was the only choice that I would make. And just a couple of days ago, we just verbally agreed to a bucket list ultramarathon, the Leadville 100. A 100-mile ultramarathon in Leadville, United States. And I haven't even run 5 miles continuously yet. Brilliant.